So hello students, today I will start new chapter, that is aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. In this chapter we will study about the nomenclature and methods of preparation, physical and chemical properties of these three class of compounds. Also you should know that what are carboxylic acid derivatives. Although we have studied all this in first year, still a revision. Aldehydes are the compounds which contain this CHO group, right? This CHO group. Now this CO group, it is known as carbonyl group. So this carbonyl group is attached to hydrogen on one side and alkyl group on the other side. Such compounds are known as aldehydes. Now ketones are the compounds in which the carbonyl group is attached to the alkyl group on both sides, whereas in the carboxylic acids the carbonyl group is attached to the hydroxyl group on one side and hydrogen or alkyl group on the other side. Now the derivatives of carboxylic acid, that is acid halide, in this the carbonyl group is attached to the halogen on one side and alkyl group on the other side, whereas in the amides the carbonyl group is attached to the alkyl group on one side and amine group on the other side, right? In aldehyde, carbonyl group is attached to hydrogen on one side, alkyl group on the other side, so they are known as aldehydes. It may be alkyl group or it may be aryl group. Similarly, in the ketones, the carbonyl group is attached to alkyl or aryl group on both the sides. They are known as ketones. Now, in the carboxylic acid, the carbonyl group is attached to the hydroxyl group on one side and alkyl or hydrogen on the other side. They are known as carboxylic acid. In acid halide or acyl halide, the carbonyl group is attached to halogen on one side and alkyl group on the other side. And in acid amide, the carbonyl group is attached to amino group on one side and alkyl group on the other side. Other than this, you will also study acid anhydride, where from two molecules of acid water is removed, then it leads to the formation of acid anhydride, right? So these are acids and acid derivatives, aldehydes and ketones. So let us first study about aldehydes and ketones. When we study aldehydes and ketones, first we will study the nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones. In nomenclature, there are two types of name, that common name and IUPAC name. Common name of the aldehydes, they are derived from the carboxylic acid. So from the name of the parent carboxylic acid, you remove this ic acid and add aldehyde. You will get the common name of the compound, right? Remove ic acid and add aldehyde, such as if you have HCHO. So one carbon containing acid is formic acid. So instead of formic acid, you add here aldehyde. So it will become formaldehyde. Similarly, from the CH3CHO, this is acetic acid. So the common name is acetaldehyde, and so on. So this is how the common name of aldehydes are given. Means you have to remove the ic acid from the parent acid common name and you have to add aldehyde, then you will get the name of the aldehyde, given aldehyde or ketone, right? For ketone we will further study, and now we are dealing with the aldehydes. Similarly, if suppose you have aromatic aldehydes, such as if you have here benzaldehyde, so benzoic acid is there, so remove ic acid and add aldehyde, that is the name of this is benzaldehyde. Got it? Now for IUPAC name, you know that for IUPAC name we have to add al. We have to add al to the name of parent alkane. So one carbon containing alkane is methane, so the name of this compound will be methanol. Similarly here 2 carbon containing compound is ethane. So the name of this compound is ethanol, and this is actually benzene carbaldehyde. When we have cyclic isomers, then we add the word carbaldehyde there, and its common name benzaldehyde is also accepted by the IUPAC, so you can take any one, right? And if suppose in case of this common names, you have to indicate the position of the substituent, such as if this compound is there, you have to indicate the position of this substituent. So this is your alpha carbon. The carbon which is just next to the functional group is alpha carbon. This is beta carbon. Now your methyl group is attached to the alpha carbon. So you will write it as alpha methyl propionaldehyde. Propanoic acid will be the common name of this compound, and so it is propanaldehyde, alpha methyl propanaldehyde. Or if suppose butane is there, then butyraldehyde, like that. So if common name has to be given, then the position is indicated by alpha, beta, gamma, delta, right? The carbon next to the functional group is alpha carbon, next is beta, next is gamma, and then delta, like that. If IUPAC name has to be given, then 1, 2, 3, such as the name of the same compound in IUPAC nomenclature is 2-methyl-propanol. 2-methyl-propanol. Understood? So this is how the nomenclature of aldehyde is done. Now let us come to the nomenclature of ketones. In case of ketones, when you have to name the ketone, then you have to add the name "on" to it, right? For IUPAC nomenclature, you have to word "on," such as if suppose you have the given compound, then the name will be, how many carbons are there? 3 carbons are there, so the name of the compound is propanone. Propanone or propane-2-one, right? And if a common name has to be given, you have to name the alkyl group or aryl group attached to the carbonyl group, and then add ketone, such as this is known as dimethyl ketone. Dimethyl ketone means propanone. Its also common name is acetone. You have to add the word "on" to the name of the parent acid, right? So acetone, acetic acid say acetone. In this way you will name it. Suppose there is cyclic ketone, such as if you have this compound, then this is cyclopentanone. This is its common name, cyclopentanone, right? And the position here for IUPAC, it is indicated by the number, and if suppose it is in the common system, then alpha beta, such as it is beta methyl cyclopentanone, and in IUPAC it is 3 methyl, because this is 1, 2, 3, so 3 methyl cyclopentanone. Understood? So this is how we name the compounds, right? Now we will study the isomerism part, isomerism of aldehydes and ketones. So in aldehydes and ketones, we have a structural isomerism present, and it shows chain isomerism, position isomerism, functional isomerism. So one by one I will discuss. First of all, chain isomerism. What is chain isomerism? In which the length of the chain is different. So suppose you have a compound, say C4H8O, because the common general formula for aldehydes and ketone is CnH2NO. So C4H8O. So we have to draw chain isomers out of it. For drawing the chain isomers, first draw 4 carbons. Since you have to make aldehyde or ketone, so to draw the chain isomer, you make any one of the functional group. So this is one isomer, and the other one will be So see, we have two chain isomers. The first one is butanol, the second one is 2-methyl propanol. So since the length of the carbon chain is different, they are chain isomers, isn't it? Now next we will come to the position isomers. For the same compound, if suppose we have to draw the position isomer, in position isomerism, the position of the functional group is different. So we can draw, see, aldehydic group is always a terminal group. So for aldehydes you can't draw position isomer, but we can draw the position isomer for a ketone, right? So suppose this is your first isomer. Now in this compound, that is butane 2-one, no further position isomer is possible, but we can have the position isomer for C5H10O, right? For C5H10O we will draw position isomers, such as this is your pentane 3-one and the other one is pentane 2-one. So the position of the functional group is different, hence it can show position isomerism, isn't it? These are position isomers, pentane 3-one and pentane 2-one. First one is chain isomers, where the length of the chain is different. Second one is position isomers, where the position is different. Position isomerism is not possible for aliphatic aldehydes. It may be only possible in the case of ketones, right? Or it may also be possible in the aromatic aldehydes. Okay, now come to the functional isomerism. In the functional isomerism, as I have told you in the first year, that aldehydes and ketones are functional isomers of each other. Functional isomerism. So if a compound is given, if an aldehyde is given, suppose say C4H8O is there. So if aldehyde is given, you can make a ketone out of that. If ketone is given, you can make aldehyde out of that. This is butanol, and the functional isomer of this is butanone. Aldehydes and ketones are functional isomer of each other, though we have 7 isomers of aldehydes and ketones, functional isomer. See, apart from the aldehydes and ketones, alcohols, then ethers, then certain cyclic compounds, they are also isomers of this compound. But in your syllabus only aldehydes and ketones as a functional isomer is included, so let it be. Okay, you are studying this much only. So this is about the isomerism. Next I will come to the structure of the functional group, that is carbonyl group or carbonyl compounds. So you know that in the carbonyl compound, the carbon is attached to the oxygen by double bond, and when there is double bond, the carbon is sp2 hybridized. So this carbon is sp2 hybridized. S3 orbital are sp2 hybridized, and one of the orbital, p orbital, it is containing unshared pair of electron which will overlap with the oxygen p orbital to form this pi bond, isn't it? So carbon, it will have 3 sp2 hybridized orbital like that, and one of the orbital, it is containing its unshared electron pair which will be overlapping with the oxygen p orbital to form the pi bond. So one sigma bond and one pi bond is formed between the oxygen and carbon, and the other two sp2 hybridized orbital are overlapped with the s orbital of hydrogen atom, isn't it? Now since you know that in this carbonyl group, this oxygen is also containing lone pair of electron and is highly electronegative than carbon, therefore this bond is polar covalent bond, and this carbonyl group, it is a resonance of two structures. Here, this pi electrons, due to high electronegativity of oxygen, it is shifted to the oxygen. Carbon will bear the positive charge. So the carbonyl group contain the resonance. It has the resonance, and the resonating structures, among the resonating structure, one is neutral molecule, which is this one A1, and the other one is a dipolar molecule, that is B1, and the actual structure is resonance hybrid of these structures. These are the resonating structures of the carbonyl group, and due to this the bond is a polar bond, and the carbon of the carbonyl group, it is a electrophilic center, and the oxygen is nucleophilic center. So many reactions take place due to this dipolar nature of the carbonyl group. Understood? So up to here we will have studied today. In the next class we will study about the method of preparation and other properties.